at the beginning of this process, I had only a vague understanding of my racial identity or around my biracial mother. And at the end of this, I now understand that my grandfather was Black and he passed white for his whole life. And that's why there was so much mystery. And I have kind of closure on that, which is huge for me and my family.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing fine. What about you?
I'm doing good. Very good. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time. And it's a pleasure to talk to you about Passing, which I love it. I thought it was great. And I love being black and white. And why did you want to be black and white, like no color on this movie?
Because I think this is a movie that is very concerned with categories and the limits of those categories and also the falsity of those categories. You know, I think at first glance, it appears that I'm making a very literal statement by making it in black and white, because this is a black and white world, therefore the movie is in black and white. But it's actually about all of our perception of that literalness, because it's kind of a nonsense. I mean, even nothing is one thing or the other. And even black and white film isn't actually black and white, it's gray. And this is really what the film is about, is the gray areas, not the places that get defined by binaries.
Yeah, it's as I mentioned to you, it's a beautiful movie. Everything. So I thought that it was like perfect for my point of view. So I love and I want to congratulate you in your directing style. And this is your director debut. How much being an actress helped you to shape your directing style?
I mean, I think it's funny. I think every movie that I've ever done as an actor has been practice for this. And I don't mean just because of the acting. I think I've always approached acting. I've never really thought of acting as being my little piece of it. I've always thought, how does my character slot into the larger narrative? And I've always enjoyed gaming out how directors are making the film. You know, I've always sat on film sets going, oh, I wonder how this is going to cut together, and imagining how you could edit it together and thinking about all of the choices and what they add up to. So in that sense, I was sort of doing a mental exercise of directing every film I was ever in. But I'm like, you know, and then of course you go and watch the movie and it's like, oh, it doesn't look like anything like I imagined it. But that's also wonderful. I love that, because no filmmaker tells the story the same way. You know, no one knows what's going on inside your head apart from you. And that's part of the glory of being a filmmaker, is that you get to try, at least. I mean, it's really hard to do, but you get to try really hard to make the thing that you're seeing in your head.
Yeah. What was like your biggest challenge, like writing and directing?
Well, the writing was weirdly sort of easy for me, because, and I felt it was part of directing. Like I find it very difficult to separate it. You know, when I read the book, all I could do was visualize how the movie was. It was like the movie was playing in my head, and I just had to write it down as a step to getting it out. And I loved that part of the process. I mean, probably all of it was very hard. I mean, there's not really a sort of pat answer to this. Like, you know, it wasn't an easy movie to get financed. And I'm now sitting here from the perspective of Netflix, having bought it after it was made out of Sundance. But the truth is, when I was shopping this around, everybody said no, again and again and again and again. And everybody said, we'll let you do it if you do it in color, and we'll let you do it if you make it less ambiguous, or we'll let you do it if you change this. And I wouldn't change anything. And I think the hardest thing was probably sticking with that vision and not letting go of it. And knowing that if I stuck with it, I could risk not making it at all. That was a scary moment. But, you know, some part of me knew that it would be all right in the end somehow.
I think you're persistent, and I think you did. It was because of the idea that you had. That's why the movie is so great, because you saw that before, you know what I mean, beforehand. And I love that. Did you learn anything about yourself making this movie?
I mean, I learned huge things about myself. I think I learned that I'm probably always wanted to be a director, and, you know, how much I love it. I just love it. I've never felt more myself on some level, which is an odd thing to say, especially a movie about identity. It's like, you know, besides that, I mean, obviously there's another sort of aspect to this, in that at the beginning of this process, I had only a vague understanding of my racial identity or around my biracial mother. And at the end of this, I now understand that my grandfather was Black and he passed white for his whole life. And that's why there was so much mystery. And I have kind of closure on that, which is huge for me and my family.
Amazing. Rebecca, I just want to thank you so much for your time and a lot of success. And we learned not to give up with this movie with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
If you like this video, don't forget to comment, to like, and subscribe to our channel right here.